Welcome. Today we're going to discuss taking the 4th and 5th grade speaking test for Access. Here are some things to know. The test is not scored by the English language teacher or anyone in the school, but by WIDA, the company who gives the test. We want students to extend their speaking, not give short 1 or 2 word answers. Complex thoughts are always a great idea. Students should speak until the timer runs out. Students need to use academic vocabulary. Here's an example. What is the reporter doing at the art show? A student may want to respond simply, taking notes, but instead we would want them to say something like, the reporter is asking questions about the art show and writing down information. Students may make a mistake when speaking, and that is okay. The student response does not have to be perfect. We do not want students to press the stop button if they mess up. The student can just take a breath and then finish their speaking response. What the student might do before hitting the record button. Write down a list of what they want to say. We don't want a script because we don't want it to sound rehearsed. Practice. The student can set and practice their response before recording. There is no time limit on the test. So in front of you, you have a picture and it is called the marble jar. Do you know what a marble is?
Mm-hmm.
What is a marble?
It's like it's like an oval kind of shape.
Good.
And it's kind of flat a little.
Okay.
And, they could be flat and some can be just like circles and round.
Okay.
And they can roll around, but they're hard.
Perfect. So you know what a marble is.
Yes.
Okay. So the name of our kind of story today is called the marble jar. So I'm going to read to you. Are you ready?
Okay.
This class has a marble jar. The class gets marbles when they follow the rules. When the teacher sees that the whole class is following the rules or doing something of their best work, she adds 1 marble to the jar. Do you have something like that in your classroom? The teacher's trying to link to prior knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have anything like that?
Well, we have recess minutes. So we earn recess. So it's like this. So if we're doing our work or when we're packing up and we're doing it very quietly, we earn a recess minute.
Perfect. So it's kind of like the marble jar, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you do something well, you kind of get a reward and it stacks up. And it's the whole class, not just you. Perfect. So when the jar is filled to the top with marbles, the class can choose a special reward. And everyone in the class votes to choose a reward. Okay? So I want you to tell me why the class has a marble jar. Why do you think this class has a marble jar?
So they can learn to do a good job maybe.
Yeah.
And to participate a lot.
Okay.
In things and just try our best at doing a great job.
Those are really great ideas you had. So we're going to put all of those ideas in kind of to a big fluid response. Does that make sense? So we want to take out the likes and the maybes and things like that. Does that make sense? So you have a whiteboard. I have a whiteboard. So we're going to make a list of ways to answer this question. So some of the ideas that how you want to answer it. So you said at first that the class had a marble jar because of what?
Just to learn to do a good job.
Learn to do a good job. Do you want me to make the list or do you want to make the list?
It doesn't really matter.
Okay. How about I make the list the first time?
Okay.
Learn to do a good job. Okay. What is the second? Another reason you think that the class has a marble jar?
To participate.
To participate more. I like that. So I'm going to write down the word participate. Am I making a really long drawn? No, I'm just writing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you come up with one more idea of why the class has a marble jar?
So like probably like, let's see.
Let's go back.
Okay.
You're doing really great. Let's look at the last part on here. It says that when the jar is filled to the top with marbles, the class can choose a special reward. Do you think you could add that to your response?
Working hard.
Okay, so the first one says learn to do a good job. Do you think that's kind of the same as working hard? Whenever you get to choose your reward, do you think it's more motivating?
Maybe.
So if the teacher gives you a choice on the reward, do you think that the students will work harder maybe? Or not so much? What do you think?
I think harder.
You think that the students will work harder?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do you know what the word motivate means?
I don't know how to explain it.
That's okay. Do you know how we have the iReady store?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if students do what, they get money. The teacher is looking for word choice here and explaining.
Past like iReady lessons.
So do you think that makes students want to work harder to pass those lessons? Because it motivates them and it gets them more what?
More.
Do they get more money for working hard or less money?
More money.
They get more money for working hard. So we could use the word motivates. That's a big word, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We would call that like an academic word. Big word that we can use to put into our thought, okay? So we have learn to do a good job, participate, and motivates. So we're going to now answer this question again. You answered it beautifully the first time, but we're just going to try again, okay? So the question is, tell me why the class has a marble jar. So you can look down off of this and let's think of a big, beautiful thought, complex thought that we can create to answer this question. So tell me why the class has a marble jar. So let's look down. The first one says, learn to do a good job so students will participate and that it may motivate students. So can we put that into a big thought? I'm going to help you start, okay? So the question is, tell me why the class has a marble jar. So just like you would do in writing, could you restate that? The teacher provided a sentence starter for the student and allowed wait time for processing. Tell me why the class has a marble jar. So you can use the question in your answer.
The class has a marble jar.
Okay, so that would be the beginning of our sentence. I love it. The class has a marble jar. And then let's talk about our ideas. The class has a marble jar. Yes, you're doing
because
great. Mm-hmm. What was your first thought?
Because it motivates them to participate.
Ooh, that's a great answer. Can you give me one more sentence? Maybe you can go off your first point.
To do a good job.
And to do a good job. Or you can make that into a second sentence and say something like, the class has a marble jar so they can learn to do a good job. You did a really great job, Jayla.
Practice at home. Let your student watch a short video and ask questions. How is the video related to school? How is the video related to home? Read a book together with your student. Ask them, what is the theme or lesson we learned from the book? Ask them to describe one of the characters from the story and tell why that character is important to the story. Remember, we are looking for full, complete thoughts with details.